Welcome to Weave Along with Elewys. I'm Elewys of Finchingfield. Today we're going to look at a piece from Austria. It was found in a salt mine in 1991. They've dated it to at least 400 BCE and as far back as 800 BCE. So sometime between the beginning of the Etruscan civilization and the time the Egyptians threw over the Persian rule. That's when this piece of fabric was dropped in the salt mine. And I'm betting when he got home his wife was pretty mad that he left his tunic behind. It's called Hallstatt 152. That's the number that archaeologists give it to identify which fragments they've found. You know, just, okay, that piece is number 37, that one's 38, that one's 39. This one was number 152. The environment that they found it in prevented the single-cell organisms from eating away at the fibers, which is why it's been preserved so well. They can even tell all the details on it, including the twist, the size of the threads, the color, what it was dyed with. It's currently housed in the National History Museum in Vienna. It was one of 6 pieces that were found in this salt mine. One of them dated approximately 1200 to 1500 BC, which is about the time that Queen Hatshepsut was ruling Egypt. That's item number 288, in case you're curious. It's got a simple blue stripe on it. 3 of the pieces, numbers 123, 152, and 186, were all about the same age, about 400 to 800 BCE, and had much more complicated patterns to them. Solid triangles, meandering lines, and diamonds. And this is just proof at how sophisticated weaving had gotten. Now, when this piece was found in 1991, they created a pattern with 4 threads per card. This is a really nice, easy pattern to create, especially for the beginner, but 2 tablet weavers by the name of Maiki Karisto, gosh, I hope I'm saying her name right, and Karina Gromer, I hope I said that right too, did a deep dive into the research on this piece. They analyzed the size of the threads, the twist of the threads, the color, the how many threads there were, how wide the piece was, how long it was. I mean, they did a very detailed analysis of this particular piece. They did a number of test weaves to figure out which pattern was the most accurate, and they did come up with one. And they decided that it was, in fact, a skip hole weave. So I do have a pattern for that, and I am going to provide that one for you today as well. The extant piece is 12.5 centimeters long and just over 1 centimeter wide. It's 1.2 centimeters. So continuing with my Laurel Kingdom project, today I celebrate the Kingdom of Aedenveld. The Kingdom of Aedenveld was created in 1971. Now originally it consisted of all the lands outside of West Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, and East Kingdom. And now it's just essentially Arizona. Arizona's a nice place, I guess. The kingdom's colors are blue, white, and yellow. It's certainly not green. This is a really easy, fun pattern, and I'm sure you're going to love it. So grab your looms and let's get started. I have everything I need here. I have my loom. I have my thread in the Lazy Kate. I've only got the 2 dowels. I can't find my 3rd one, so I'm going to swap out the yellow thread and the white thread when I need to. I've got my pattern. I've got 12 cards. These are the cards that my husband made for me on the 3D printer. I only had 11 of the orange ones, so I have to use a gray one. I got my very sharp scissors, always very, very important. And I've got my cup of tea, because this is going to take a little bit of time. Warping a loom usually takes between 30 minutes to 45 minutes, maybe more if you're using a ton of cards, but most of the patterns that I've been doing have been running about 30 minutes for warping time. First thing you need to do is move your tension peg or your paddle, whatever you're using, to the farthest position, and then I need to take my Lazy Kate, my beautiful Lazy Kate. I'm just going to take this out of here, and I'm going to put this on the floor so it's next to me and ready to go. I do need the yellow. So if you're following along, cards number 1 and 2 are both all yellow threads. Always leave a nice long tail at the beginning, maybe 4 or 5 inches. Pinch that down with your thumb and then follow the path, whatever your manufacturer's recommended path is for your loom. Leave a long tail, snip, and repeat 3 more times. Now if you have several spools of the same color of yarn, you could do all of them at the same time. I only have the one. And that's 3. Snip. Okay. And the 4th thread. Take your first card, and it's a Z-threaded card. Because this is a clockwise labeled card, it has to face to the right, so my little snail faces me. And for a Z-threaded, the threads will go through the front of the card, or through the right side of the card. This is my first time using these cards, so this is kind of an experiment to see how well the cards work. The only thing that I've found so far is that the cards are a little on the thick side compared to the cardboard ones. The cardboard ones are about 0.6 millimeters, and these ones are 1 millimeter. So we're going to try to make slightly thinner cards just to see how that works. And we'll push all the threads back. And card number 2 is card number 2. Sorry about that. I always think there should be something I should be saying right here. Having a conversation with my weaving friends. I guess you could leave a note in the comments about what your favorite yarns are, what your favorite cards are. If you've been doing all of the patterns, which one has been your favorite so far? What ones would you like to see in the future? I'd love to know. Okay, card number 2 is S-threaded, so if you face the card to the right, the S goes through the back of the card. one thing that I'm going to have the most difficulty with using these cards is being able to read the letters. They're really hard to read. It's just an, what do they call it? Elevation change. I may have to go through there with a magic marker or something. Let's see if I can color inside the ridges. Oh, I don't need the yellow anymore. Okay, thread change. Do 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 do. Oh, that's perfect timing. Okay, so the next, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 cards are going to be 2 yellows and 2 blues. So I need both yellow and blue, and you could do those at the same time. That speeds up your warping tremendously. Okay, so I take the 2 threads, I put my finger between them so they don't twist around each other, because that can create more problems with extra twist in your warp. So just keeping them separated cuts down on that kind of extra twist. Let's see, what else? So yeah, you can leave all kinds of stuff in the comments. You can let me know where you're from, how long you've been weaving, if you've been stumped on certain aspects of weaving before and are getting back into it, or if you're a newbie and you've never woven anything before but you're looking forward to it. Let me know who's out there, who I'm talking to, who's my audience. Okay, this is a Z-threaded, so it goes through the front of the card, and A is blue, which means D is white. A lot of these patterns, when they have alternating colors, it literally is alternating. So the whites are opposite of each other and the blues are opposite of each other. So if you get one thread in the right hole, you know where the rest of them go. Twice over that way. Oh, I didn't mention, I use a surgeon's knot. I always try to mention this because this is a really great knot. It's like a square knot, but it's got a double loop the first time around. I'll demonstrate it when I get to the next one. But it's a very secure knot, but it also is fairly easy to pick out. So when you discover you've made a mistake, and trust me, it happens every time, you can untie it easily, and then you can fix it and then retie it without damaging the threads. Or having to cut it off and start over, because that's even more devastating. Alrighty. Make sure AD is at the top. Yeah, I'm going to have to mark these cards. Okay, that's 3. Good morning, Moki. I can make him peep like crazy just by doing this. He loves me. What can I say? Okay, card number 4. A is white, still Z-threaded, so through the top of the card. Okay, to do a surgeon's knot, like I said, it's like a square knot. You go left or right and under twice and pull it tight, and then you go right over the left and under and pull it tight. And now that knot isn't going to pull, it's not going to pull loose, and it's easy enough to pick out if you make a mistake. All right, we are ready to start doing our weaving. Now, I always start with a fully loaded shuttle. In the tablet weaving for absolute beginners, I actually demonstrated how I load the shuttle, and you can load it however you find most comfortable. I always load the threads on the top. I find it keeps the shuttle from getting too thick around the middle, and I may have overloaded this a little bit, but that's just me. All right, so the first thing you do is pull your tail, and pull a nice long tail, like 6 inches or so, through your shed, which is this middle part right here, while the cards are in the AD position at the top. All the cards should be with AD at the top. You turn all the cards forward, well, a quarter turn. You'll run your shuttle through, and you can leave a loop behind, and run the tail back through the other direction. This just kind of anchors it all together. And you want to be sure to leave, a finger or a little bit more of distance between the knots and your first weft threads. Turn your cards again. Run your shuttle through. Oops. Sorry about that. And now you can start to tighten up your weft threads a little bit. It does not seem ready to go, so I will turn the cards again. Gotta get the tail out of the way. There we go. And turn the cards one more time. Now we've done a full revolution. We got A and D back at the top again. Now we really need to crank on the weft to pull your warp threads in. And you know that it's going to be, well, with this cotton carpet warp, it looks like it's going to be about a finger's width wide. The next 3 turns, all the cards go forwards. So we turn all the cards forward 1. This is for pick number 1. Pick number 2. And pick number 3. And now things are going to go in different directions. Now this particular pattern, the way I printed it out, it's a little hard to see on my piece of paper, but cards 1, 2, 3, and 4 go forward, and then 5, 6, 7, and 8 go backwards, and then the last 4 go forwards. So I separate them into 2 packs. These ones turn backwards, these ones turn forwards, and I keep them separated so that I know which way they're going. And then pick number 6, line those up again. 1 and 2 go forward, 3 and 4 go backwards, 5, 6, 7, 8 go forwards, and 9, 10 go backwards. And again, like many patterns, this one does everything in either pairs or threes. Pick number 8. Border cards go forwards, and the rest of the cards go backwards for 3 picks. And that is the entire repeat. 10 picks. That's it. Silly boy.